My hat's all dicked up.
That's a way to start a show.
Ho, ho, ho. I think that's the Green Giant.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, shit. Hey, everybody. Chris didn't tell me he was going live.
I told you we were going live. I said we're going live.
Dude. Hey, everybody. This is Matt, and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thanks for watching our Sunday live stream podcast. If you're watching this or listening to this in your car tomorrow on your way to work, or if you're supposed to be doing something at work and you're not, and you're watching this, you can, I'm going to adjust this. There we go.
Okay, there you go.
There we go. Now they can see part of the logo on the shirt.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't wear a shirt today.
How come?
Because they was all dirty.
Yeah, mine's dirty too. This is my cleanest dirty Texas Toast shirt. Oh,
Doesn't
man.
preclude you from wearing it.
Doesn't stop me.
Yep.
I just put on extra deodorant.
Oh, good.
So, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. It's almost Christmas time, Chris.
Christmas time?
Christmas time.
Christmas time?
And we've done a few Christmas things. You know, we had a Christmas party at Flipside Music this week. That was fun.
It was really fun.
We talked about the top 10 Christmas gifts for last minute gifts for your people on your list.
Yep.
And that was cool.
Yeah, it was fun to, I met a couple new people and saw some old people, some people I haven't seen in a while.
You mean like some
old people?
guys? Or people that you've known for a while.
Yeah, I've known them. I haven't seen him. One of them I thought was dead.
Really?
I was shocked he was alive. I thought you were dead. No.
So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I mean, I need to rally because I'm kind of on low speed. I need to maybe I need to eat some more coffee beans and drink some more beers and eat some more cookies.
Man, if we had some espresso beans,
That'd be great.
chocolate covered espresso beans, those are so good. I really like them.
Yeah, but we don't. So anyway, so guys, thank you for tuning in, and let's go ahead and get started because we're already off the rails.
What are we getting started with?
Well, let's talk a little bit about what we've done in the shop the last week because it's been crazy busy, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bunch of hair in my mouth.
Really? Where'd that come from?
From the
hair.
When
stupid.
I told you you should take it down and look like
The stupid hair that I have.
Freaky Santa. Yeah.
So, Chris, how have you been?
I'm good.
With me,
I'm
as
not
always,
liking
of
this
course, is
camera
Chris.
angle.
Well, we could change it up. Where do you want to change it to?
I don't think there's really anything that can help. So.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm good.
Mrs. Toast is in the background, and she might be chiming in with a few things coming up as we go. But anyway, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Let's go ahead and let's get this party started. You know what I mean? Let's get down to business. Down to some business. So this week we've been very busy. We did some painting. We did a very cool double neck reveal. Actually, the double neck's right there. Maybe we'll get that in the picture here in a little bit.
I don't really like to show stuff off on video.
Yeah, well, I do.
We talk about it. That's it.
That's yeah. I wonder.
It's really neat. You should see it.
It's just been so crazy. One of the things that has been happening was we got an order for a non-reverse style body built from mahogany, and the guy spec'd that he wanted a Fender neck pocket and one humbucker, and he wants a tobacco sunburst. That's the word I was looking for. So we're going to be doing a tobacco burst on this, and this will be a really neat guitar. So it's got a great big thing here, which I think he's only going to put like a volume control. I can't remember. But
Right in the middle.
yeah, probably not. I think he wants to get it close to the bridge. So this is a cool thing. So I guess what I'm driving at, you guys, is if you've got some crazy stuff that you want to say, hey, I would really like to, I really like that body shape, but I have a Fender neck. And can you make it, work with my neck? And the answer is absolutely, we can. We also have a very cool thing that we've just started doing. Now, we've been making bolt-on necks for a while, and they will retrofit with your guitar. But we used to do heel adjust truss rods. And it was funny. People would be like, no truss rod? No, there's a truss rod. It's in the heel. And the reason that we did that was because we wanted to have more room on the headstock for the logo, right?
Uh-huh.
You with me so far? Mm-hmm. You were there the whole time. But now
I even participated in some of it.
I know. So one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to come up with a headstock adjust truss rod. But the truss rod that we use, you can't poke out of a Fender style headstock because it has to go down and then back up again. It has to come this way. And to use the truss rod that we use, you need to have a big gap. You need to have a thing like we have there. So if you've seen, like Reverend uses it where it's just sort of like there's a cutoff patch, but you can dig what we did. We actually went with our standard truss rod access location, just like we do on our angled back, our tilt back headstock. So that's a cool thing. Watch for that. If you order a neck from us, you can get it either with the heel adjust or the new hotness headstock adjust. Which one do you like the best, Chris?
It probably depends on the project. I find myself liking this one more and more, and I'm traditionally very, very traditional.
You are, vintage, and so am I.
For
remember
new things,
that
it sure is neat to be able to adjust it without having to take the guitar
That'll
apart.
be on the student neck blanks from now on. Too.
Yeah, that'll be neat.
One of the reasons that it's way easier, but remember that video I did, what Leo Fender got wrong?
Yeah.
And it was all about, actually, it did nothing to do with what Leo Fender got wrong, but it had everything to do with what people who had Fenders get wrong every time.
Yeah.
That was how necks are replaceable rather than refrettable. Mm-hmm. But people are always like, they always chime in with, here's what he got wrong, that dumb heel adjust truss rod, which I don't really mind it, especially if you build the neck right. You don't have to adjust it that much. But anyway, people generally speaking don't like that. What's that?
I think they got confused. Why not just use a truss rod that will work with Fender necks? We're not making Fender necks.
Yeah, because one thing, we're not making Fender necks, and for another thing, the Fender truss rod is a piece of 3/16 rod. It's not a dual acting rod. It doesn't do all the stuff that our rod does, and frankly, it's not as good.
The other thing that we talked about is we didn't want just that little crappy looking hole in the.
We want a big crappy looking hole.
No, we wanted those. They look like Chinese necks. The Chinese necks have a little hole for the truss rod, and we don't want our stuff to look like cheap Chinese stuff. But we also didn't want to copy the walnut plug and all of that stuff either. So
if you're so smart, you should make Fender necks however you want, and you can use whatever truss rod you want.
Yeah.
I like the truss rod that we use, and we will continue to use that truss rod.
So Matt, no knobs Flaherty.
No knobs Flaherty, yeah.
Robert R. said, that's what I want. No knobs, no toe knobs, no pickguard, no switch in the front or the back, no output on the front.
So does he know that I used to build guitars almost exclusively like that?
No, that's why I had to refresh you about being that.
Oh, no. I used to make guitars, guys, with nothing. In fact, I would even hide the output jack in the strap button. I'd use an acoustic strap button and jack, and you would just plug it in, and there was nothing. Really more because, so thank you, Robert, for asking about that. And if you want one, I'd be more than happy to do that for you.
You might even have some.
I might, but he probably wants a specific body style. Anyway, send me an email to texastoastguitars.com, and I'll be more than happy to get something going with you. But where were we? What were we talking about?
Apparently, we look more like motorcycle builders than guitar builders.
There are worse things, right?
Yeah.
Who said that? Jesse James is watching?
Yeah, I think so.
It's Mark Parker.
Okay, yeah.
Mark Parker.
I've decided that I'm not going to get a haircut or shave until my birthday, which is...
It's not exactly that far away.
No, but for me, it's been a while.
Yeah. Chris's big birthday party at Casa Bonita's coming
the
up.
hair anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah.
Okay, so we had a couple of questions before the whole thing even started. And I don't remember who it was that asked, but I'm going to go ahead and answer the question that you asked, and that was, do you make the Pure Juice pickups, and can we see a winding video? We've had a handful of people make the Pure Juice pickups for us in the past, and right now, nobody's making them for us. We've got an inventory, and so no, you can't see the Pure Juice pickup winding video.
Why don't we make our own pickups?
Because I have wound a total of 4 coils in my life, and I've decided that I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not something that turns me on. If you ever decide like, hey, let's get a pickup winding machine, sure, let's do it. But I don't want to wind pickups.
I think it would be. It's one of those projects that would be fun until you got good at it, and then it would just be monotonous and dull.
Yeah, I think Monkey got a pickup winder, and I don't know if he started winding or not. But
I don't know either. He attempted it some and lost interest pretty fast. There's so many guys that do that stuff, and there seems to be more and more every day. And there seems to be more and more that are willing to do it somewhat reasonably, And there's some pretty cool stuff out there for not a lot of money. And I think we'd have a hard time buying all this stuff and doing it for the price that they charge.
Yeah. If your time is worth nothing, you can make pickups really cheap at first. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I'm sure once you get good at it, I'm sure like Lindy Fralin can whip one. I don't.
And there's, you gotta buy a lot of stuff though up front to get any kind of good discount.
Yep.
You can't buy enough wire to do a couple sets of pickups. You got to buy enough wire to do 100 pickups or something like that.
And frankly, I don't see that there's any gap in the market that's not met with one of the. Of course, I say that there's no gap in the market that's met with our guitars, but I mean, they're so cool. The Plywood Les Paul, that's awesome. So anyway, guys, I don't wind pickups, and I don't think Chris wants to wind pickups, so no. Maybe we can get with some of our buddies who do pickup winding, Jerry Sentel, for example. Maybe we could do a thing with Jerry and go from there. But anyway, so I hope that answers your question. Are there any more questions that we should get to right away?
Hayden Milton wants to know if you do online classes.
That is a good idea, and I don't know how to do it yet.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work.
There's got to be a way. It has to be somebody smarter than me, which it would be easy to find someone smarter than me. But
working on the assumption that they have everything they need in their home.
Well, yeah, it would sort of be like an online book, I guess, and then I don't know, or we could sell. So no, at this time we don't do that, but I'm willing to consider all of these options because I think it's a cool idea, although I don't know how it would happen. Do you have any idea on that?
No, I think that's the thing that would slow us the most down, slow us down the most.
Yeah.
Would be that part of it. So
Yeah.
And
So what's the topic for today, Chris? And by the way, guys, it's Christmas time. We're gonna take a bunch of questions. If you guys have questions, random fucking questions, throw them out there if we see them. And remember, the equipment is very small, so if we don't see it, it's not because we don't like you. It's because we just didn't see the questions. So if you have some questions about pickups or frets or, how to cook a steak or something like that, let us know.
Matt's a grilling master. I've learned a lot of things from Matt about guitars, and I've learned a lot of things about grilling meat. Yep.
No.
Yeah, it really is.
Or if you have any questions about hair care products, something like that.
Mixed grill days.
Oh, mixed grill days.
We haven't done that in a while because we don't have a grill.
Yeah, we don't have a grill here.
How are you on toaster oven grilling?
Heat gun grilling.
You could bring in the electric deep fryer.
It's all right over there.
It's already here.
It's already here.
There's meat in there now.
It's all contaminated.
So let's talk about the topic for today, and as questions come in, we'll answer them as we see them. How about that? Sound good, guys? So what is the topic for today, Chris? What did you even call this one?
We called it Fender, Gibson, PRS.
Very cool brands, you guys. Iconic brands, classic brands. So Chris, let's talk a little bit about them. And guys, if you have some things you want to add, please by all means do. But let's start with Chris, I want to know what your favorites are. And okay, ready? I need your full undivided attention.
Yes.
Ready? Don't even think about it. Favorite Fender, Gibson, PRS guitar. Don't even think about it. Go.
Jazzmaster. I'll say Les Paul. I don't know PRS.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Telecaster, Les Paul, or Modern, probably Modern, and the Paul Reed Smith Custom 24, which is the ones that I've owned. So we all know you were gonna say Jazzmaster.
Yeah.
Why Les Paul from Gibson? Is it the most traditional looking?
Yeah, I don't really have any real use for a semi-hollow or a hollow body kind of
Okay,
guitar.
yeah. Gosh, those guys,
And
and they've made so many guitars.
well, I
too.
think really that's where they excel.
Yeah.
You know, for as much as you want to think that Les Paul has gotten them where it's gotten them, no, it's the 335 and
Yeah.
all that other stuff.
Okay, now ready? I need
So-
your undivided attention.
Okay.
Least favorite Fender Gibson PRS. Go.
Oh, least favorite Fender. Oh, come on, man. There's so many.
Yeah, it's only pick,
Oh well, of the big ones, Stratocaster. As much as I want to
very
love 'em,
controversial
I
indeed.
do not get along with that guitar,
Okay.
and I wanted to punch one of them today. A Stratocaster.
Okay.
Gibson, least favorite Gibson. Probably the RD.
Oh yeah, that's really shitty. Okay.
And PRS. I don't know PRS.
All right, I'm gonna go with any of that. What's the anything in Antiqua, especially that what was that big one, the Starcaster that was the
Starcaster,
hollow body?
yeah.
I don't like that. The Corvus from Gibson and the Paul Reed Smith one that they made with that stupid 6 on the side headstock for the guy from Anthrax that I think they only made the one of.
Yeah.
Or there was some other one that was like a dumb SE signature that was really dorky and had a spider inlay on it. I don't remember what that was. If you guys know, please let me know. What was it about what is it about the Strat that you don't like? Because everybody likes the Strat.
Yeah, and I said that one just to be a little bit controversial.
Very controversial indeed.
I don't have any real use for the middle pickup. It gets in the way.
Yeah.
I find the volume knob to be totally in the way.
Totally.
And I can talk about that a little more afterwards. And the trem, the arm, is in the way. There's a bunch of stuff that's in the way.
It's
And
funny
you
how
can-
comfortable the rest of the guitar is, but all that stuff
Yeah, well, and I
for
do
you and some other people is
pretty
also
darn well with a Strat
Mm-hmm.
if the trem arm isn't in it. So it's essentially a hardtail.
What if it was a hardtail Strat and you just scooched the pickups away like we did on Andy the Saints guitar?
The knobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. You could.
You still have that middle pickup.
Yeah. I recently discovered a new wiring scheme that I might want to try on a Strat someday, where it won't matter if I turn it up or down because that volume knob doesn't work. That pickup that I use most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the Strat it's like the guitar that everybody thinks of when you think electric guitar.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I just find myself being constantly hamstrung and
Do you have any
irritated with them.
I like Buddy Holly so much that I have to like the Strat? Is there any of that going on?
Well, yeah, and that's what I mean. It's the
Yeah.
it's this iconic
Totally.
guitar that everybody from country to blues to rock and roll, everybody's used them. Everybody's made great music on it.
Yeah.
And I can't play that guitar to save my ass. Now, you've probably watched a lot of the reveal videos and said, well, Chris, you can't play guitar anyway. And that's somewhat true, but
Who would say that?
I don't exactly bring my A game to the reveal videos.
I do. It's just my A game is usually an F. So
Yeah, but I've never felt comfortable with the Stratocaster. Even when that was the only guitar I
Yeah.
had, the only electric I
Yeah.
had was a Strat. And then all of a sudden one day, and I'd had Telecasters before too,
What was your Gibson that you liked the least?
the RD.
The RD. It's just because it's such a dopey design.
Yeah. And once again, I'm pretty much a Fender guy, and so I haven't played a lot of Gibsons. I haven't owned any Gibsons. So I'm just going off of, the very little that I know
Yeah.
about Gibson.
Mrs. Toast, is there anything that we need to address on the scuttlebutt? Is there any scuttlebutton?
Maybe.
What is it?
No.
No? Okay, so everyone, Mrs. Toast says there's no scuttlebutt that's worth
Nothing
talking.
in all of
I'm saying
this?
I like this. I don't like this.
Well, like what's one of them?
Why did PRS go up so big so soon? And no one said because of Santana.
Well, okay, let's talk a little bit about that. So let's come back to all the different companies, but why do you think, Chris, that Paul Reed Smith got so big so soon?
I think at that point, there was kind of a void in the market of something, well, for one, something new, and also something quality. I think there was lots of new marginal stuff that was playing on the
Yeah, so
the guitars of the past.
You got to remember that most of the guitars that were selling when Paul Reed Smith kind of exploded were, super strats and not necessarily very good super strats. The pinker and pointier they were, or the yellower and the less mellower they were, the more popular they were. So lots of Floyds, lots of import Floyds, lots of pointy guitars, lots of crazy iridescent colors, and because of the 80s, yeah. And it's not true to say that Paul Reed Smith was the only company making quality guitars, because there were a bunch of those guys doing that. But it is true to say that the Paul Reed Smith design is new and fresh enough while still being familiar enough to be and very high quality stuff too, you guys.
And more in the vein of the traditional guitars that Gibson and Fender were trying to make, but weren't doing a very good job of at the time, at least according to a lot of people.
D. Riddle just said,
you know,
they weren't making shit.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, the Gibson and Fenders in the mid '80s, that was a dark hit time for Gibson and Fender.
They were going through some stuff. Gibson was going through some stuff, and then here's PRS. And I think we had all these colorful Floyd Rose guitars, and those were all real cool until you start getting the colorful, cheap versions of those guitars, and then all of a sudden it's not quite as cool.
Yeah.
And so you start looking towards something else.
Now, and as Mrs. Toast pointed out, having some players like Santana, it certainly didn't hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not a giant Santana fan anymore, but
Santana's a giant guitar guy.
He's a yeah. I don't actually know how tall he is, but have you ever seen that Billy Gibbons coffee table book? Guns, guitar, and whatever. One of the Paul Reed Smith that he has in there is the one and only. I've never seen it anywhere else. It's a white Explorer with a Paul Reed Smith headstock.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? And I guess
it's been a while since I looked at that book.
Paul Smith made that guitar personally for Billy Gibbons back in the day, and that was a cool thing. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they got. You can be the guy that has really cool stuff and sells what you can sell, or sells as many as you can make. I don't know how you go from that to,
I think he had a fairly
giant.
Aggressive marketing strategy too. Now, what that was, it's not like nobody else could have done that, but nobody did. I remember in the 80s, everybody who wanted to build guitars was gonna be the next Paul Reed Smith. I was one of those guys, and obviously that didn't work out. But Paul Reed Smith guitars were like a perfect storm, where everything that he was doing was right for the industry, and everything that he wasn't doing was what all the big guys were doing wrong. And it's the surprising thing to me about Paul Reed Smith was that he made one model for like 10 years. That was it. There was no double cut. There was no hollow body. There was no acoustic. There were no amps. It was that one guitar. And there was no custom shop. They were all fucking custom.
They were all custom.
Yeah.
Someone said that the Nuge was one of the
PRS's first players. Ted Nugent played them.
Yeah.
Al Di Meola played them.
I think Ted Nugent was the first one that I was actually aware of that played a PRS. At least, in my small world of rock.
I think you got them to play it. Like, you could just knock on their door, bought a Stars, like a Match of the Stars home. There's a story for all those guys, and Paul Smith tells those stories when he goes on the like the Guitar Center tour or whatever. He goes and people ask him, and I guess working with Santana was a real pain in the ass at first, and I guess I don't know. You guys probably know more about it than I do, but. And I would imagine that the Ted Nugent story was something very similar, where it was, hey, I want to say that he would kind of sneak into places with guitars and almost dare people to play them. So anyway. I'm good at sneaking in places.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're very little.
Yeah. Somebody offered an interesting tidbit.
Okay.
That Carlos Santana is about 5'6".
Do you like that note that Carlos Santana plays?
That one note?
That one note that he plays, I like that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
I think part of my problem with Carlos Santana is the only exposure I've had is what they play on the radio, and that's that one song.
Yeah, me too.
Pretty much.
Me too.
So, yeah.
Brown note.
That was... So, I want to say there was an Eddie Van Halen Paul Reed Smith.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was real or a made up internet thing.
Yeah.
But I know there was the red, white, and black paint scheme on a Paul Reed Smith with like all the pickups, but the one in the back torn out and a Floyd. Again, if you guys know, let me know if that's a real thing or if it was a made up deal. Because I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
What do you think was responsible for Leo Fender and his rise to popularity? That happened pretty fast.
Yeah, it did.
He went up against a major guitar making giant. So.
Yeah. Well, we got something slightly new.
Oh, Robert R. Robert No Knobs R.
What does he want?
He just gave $3.
Oh, cool. Thank you, Robert.
$3. That's cool. Thanks, man.
You share his philosophy on the lack of knobs necessity.
I think, well, let's get back to the Fender thing here in a second, but there's something about having nothing on your guitar that I think is very cool. So we were talking about Fender, Chris. Mm-hmm. And I cut you off. I'm sorry.
What was the
how Fender's rise to popularity?
Well, I think the amplifier end of it was as much
that's an intriguing thing, yeah.
As they were the only ones that made amplifiers that
mm-hmm.
were tough enough to take out and use on the road.
Yeah.
And the music community, at least you had West Coast and East Coast, and West Coast. Everybody. It was a small community, so the word got out really, really fast. That if you wanted something that held up, you went and you saw a Leo Fender.
Yeah.
And then the Telecaster, which was a brand new thing, and I think it was something that a lot of people didn't realize they needed until they needed it.
That's a cool thing.
Yeah. And once that took off, and then what else are you gonna buy? That's why Gibson came out with the Les Paul was because. Yeah. What else are you going to buy? You're going to buy a Fender.
I know you saw this, that when Les Paul died, they were like going through his fairly extensive collection of things that he owned. Mm-hmm. And one of them was a Fender, like serial number 1 or something.
Yeah.
That he was like, that I guess, and again, you guys probably know this story, Leo Fender wanted Les Paul to be an endorsed player for Fender. And he's like, no, I want to see where this Gibson is going.
But he was... It was close. There's a great book that I just read called The Birth of Loud,
mm-hmm.
and it chronicles Les Paul, Leo Fender, and Paul Bigsby, and all of this stuff throughout the years. And it's funny how even tight that group was. You wouldn't think that Les Paul knows Leo Fender, and Leo Fender knows mm-hmm. Paul Bigsby, and they all go to Les Paul's house on Saturdays and hang out.
Paul Bigsby was still the man for everything that Leo Fender and Les Paul and Ted McCarty did. Paul Bigsby's still the man.
Yeah, well, he was like the true craftsman, and everybody else was looking to make a buck, and he's the one that's like, I'm gonna make really, really good stuff.
I'm gonna make all my own shit.
Yeah, dare me to make something, I'll make it.
Double dog dare you.
So yeah, but anyway, if you haven't read that book, it's great. It's called The Birth of Loud.
Check it out.
Pretty fast read, so
cool.
Yeah, and it's. Cool.
I have a copy over there. I haven't read
it.
So,
yeah. It's neat. And the thing about you forget that in 1942 you couldn't hardly buy a guitar that could be heard above acoustic volume.
Or like horns, especially.
Or basses, or horns are way louder than
even an amplified guitar. It's surprising.
Yeah, especially and the amplifiers that they had and the guitars that they had and all that. So, in less than 100 years, we've gone from guitar as a secondary instrument to guitar as the main instrument in almost all genres of music.
All right, I have a new Fender Gibson PRS thing to ask you.
Okay.
Most noteworthy contribution to electric guitars, Fender, Gibson, Paul Reed Smith, go.
Fender, I'll just say the Telecaster.
Okay.
Solid body.
Okay.
That was readily available, not special ordered from Paul Bigsby. Gibson, I'll say the humbucking pickup. Mm-hmm. And PRS, I will say those cute little birds on the inlay.
Mm. Those are cool. I'm gonna agree with you on the first two, and the last one I'm gonna say the Paul Reed Smith quality control in the 80s was pretty much
forced the other guys.
Forced everybody else to reevaluate what they were doing. But yeah, I absolutely agree. The humbucking pickup from Gibson, the Telecaster from Fender, awesome innovations. And Paul Reed Smith, again, he made it, to me his design is familiar and classic at the same time, but it was his ability to make a lot of guitars and sell them and all of them be awesome was, whether you like Paul Reed Smiths or not, they're really good guitars, you guys. And it doesn't mean that like nobody else was doing it, but Paul Reed Smith forced everyone else's hand, and they needed to reevaluate based on that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so.
Hey, Joe just donated some money too for beer.
All right, wait, no.
Thank you, Joe.
Made me lose it.
Okay.
No, wait, give it
Oh,
1 second.
Mrs. Joseph.
Thomasina says he needs a Les Paul refinish. Can you do it? How much to get started? Then, Jim Bucket says, Tom, check out Big D Guitars.
Yeah, check out Big D Guitars. He'll do it for you.
He recently did a whole series on a Les Paul refinish.
Cool. Yeah, go to
Yeah.
Big D. I'm sure he would be happy to do it for you. If you want us to do it for you, we can do that too. What was? No, I'm not even gonna do it.
Yeah.
What else? What else we got?
Oh, so Joseph Caswell just didn't even ask a question and threw down $5. So thanks for the margarita later.
Yeah, we're going out for Mexican after this.
First a coat, now $5.
Yeah, and I got the coat and
Yeah.
the $5.
So William Hemmingson says, am I the only one that thinks Fenders are ugly? Sound and play great, but ugly.
I don't know.
I don't like their headstocks for sure.
What? Do you think Fenders are ugly, Chris?
No, I don't think they're ugly.
I don't think that
But
Fenders are as
they're definitely-
satisfying to me as
Yeah.
Gibsons
Yeah.
are. And at the same time, they are. It's just it's the Fender to me has a mass-produced quality about it, and the Gibsons, of course, are mass-produced. But there's something about them. There's something about a set neck and binding. Even though a set neck it's not difficult to do. The binding's not difficult to do. It's just something about the Gibson seems different to me, and more something your ear.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yep. I remember reading something that Leo Fender said that his designs were 90% function, 10% cosmetic.
No doubt about it.
Something like
Tons of
that.
utility.
And and from start to finish with him at the helm was pretty much that. And they dabbled into some other stuff. And then once he was gone or not making any real calls, they really started getting ridiculous and
Yeah. Ooh, you know what? Can I change my answer on the Fender's innovation from the Telecaster?
Yeah.
To the P-Bass.
Oh yeah.
Guys,
Yeah, really.
This is an important distinction because the electric bass is a really new instrument, and the fretted bass is only like 60 years old.
Yeah.
It's not, well, maybe a little older than that, but it's funny because like a guitar is something that has, an electric, if you've ever played an acoustic guitar, you can pick up an electric guitar and play it.
Yeah.
But if you, or how about this? Or if you play an electric guitar, you can pick up a classical guitar and make chords and stuff. But if you play exclusively a Fender style or fretted precision style bass, you can't just go pick up a double bass and start going.
Right.
I mean, you can get close, but it's a very different animal.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think the precision bass, which of course, as we all know, means it has frets, was a pretty. Yeah, I'm changing my answer. You want to change your answer too? We can both agree, but a different answer.
Well,
Or do you want to stick with the Telly?
I'll stick with the Telly.
Okay,
but
just
I
for-
do agree that the P bass and really the P bass should be the
Let's talk about the humbucker
big-
though.
the
We
big-
both agreed
the-
about the
and the
Gibson's.
amplifier to make that bass work.
Yeah,
That was a
even
big
though
deal, too.
nobody wanted to play bass through a basement. Well,
Well,
now
everybody
they-
did.
Well, but now they don't.
No, they don't now.
Unless it's
No.
one of those new basement things.
No, you discount the number
And
of
really-
people that played through Showman's. with
Everybody
bass.
really wanted. Actually, I was gonna say that what people really want to play bass through is Ampeg SVTs.
Now.
And people want to play guitar through those too. I think the
Yeah.
Rolling Stones had a tour where everybody had SVTs.
Yeah, at one point. But I mean, that's the chronological order of how things went.
What's more bad or ass, the SVT or the Dual Showman?
I don't know. It depends on what you're using it for. Also, you're talking about different.
I'm going to say you're
different
using it to
genres of
weigh down your
things.
truck in the snow.
Oh, then the SVT. but a couple of Dual Showmans will get it done
I
too.
don't know what that is, love.
So.
What does that say?
$9.99.
Oh,
Wow.
cool. So thank you to
He got
Red
like
Clover
a
Guitars.
Superman flying thing.
Oh, wow. That's a super cool thing. Thank you so much, Red
Yeah, that's
Clover.
cool. Yeah.
Okay, I know we're not talking about Ampeg, but man, you can't.
Yeah. When did the Ampeg thing happen though? Because
It was in the
original-
60s,
It was in the
yeah.
late 60s because the
Yeah.
original Ampeg guy was not down with loud at all.
Yeah.
He was not down with distortion. He was not down with anything that anybody likes now.
Dan Armstrong pretty much single-handedly made Ampeg cool.
Yeah, I think that original guy retired or died or whatever, and other people took over, and that's when Ampeg got cool.
We should do a video. What would be cool would be to do a video on the differences between amps and talk about the SVT super valve technology. Did you know that there's no such thing as an SVT with a hand wire? They all have circuit boards.
Yeah.
So sort of like Mesa Boogie, they all have it. There's no such thing as hand wired.
Yeah,
Because nobody wants that shit. They want the, well, anyway.
That's all myth and
And
other
folklore?
stuff too. Yeah.
Okay.
Julian,
But yeah, we should do that.
Suarez says that you have a cool beard going there, Chris.
There you
Right?
go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You sort of look like that G.I. Joe. If you should cut the rest of your hair.
G.I. Joe is 50.
G.I. Joe's way older than 50.
I don't know that I can hold on to that rope all the way down from this tower.
Dude, you
Burn
should
my
cut the rest of your
hands.
hair to match your
To match
beard.
that?
And
Oh,
get a
man.
G.I. Joe.
You know, I don't
Didn't
know
we
that I
see a
ever
guy
had
one
a-
time at like
oh, that
Jack in the
happens a
Box that
lot.
had like a G.I. Joe?
Yeah, the full just, yeah.
I'm like, that guy looks like G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. That's just
Buzz.
peculiar. What else you got, Mrs. Toast?
Will you guys ever do effects pedals?
Ooh, no, I won't. Did
Well,
you have?
you guys won't, but one day we might have a division that we can hire somebody who knows what the hell is going on.
I have been wanting to do an effects pedal called the Tone Boner for a long time. I have no idea what it does. I think what would be cool is just have like a box that said Tone Boner, and it would just be a coupler, basically.
Yeah, it's a way to plug one
It has a
20-foot
light.
cord into another 20-foot
Yes,
cord.
yes, to make a
Box-shaped.
40 and 5-inch cord
Yeah, I like that it would have a knob that does nothing on it.
and a light.
And a light. Yes.
And so you have to have a battery.
Yeah, so it has to have a battery.
Have to have a
And it has to have, yeah. And you can sit there and twist the knob and go, that sounds better, I think.
But it would be called the Tone Boner, and it would be super cool. It could just be a passive volume control.
Yeah, it doesn't even
It doesn't
really have
this
to do
weird-
anything. Passive volume. Yeah, because that's what you want. Is a choke on your signal 20 feet in to run another 20 feet before it hits anything.
Or remember,
Yeah.
okay, so Paul Reed Smith, one of Paul Reed Smith's innovations that did not exactly take off was the sweet switch. And that was a thing that if you look at it like an 85 to 89, I think, PRS, there was a little micro switch, and that was the sweet switch. There was a volume control and a pickup selector, which was rotary, and then this sweet switch. And that was that was a Carlos Santana thing, as I understand it. If I'm wrong, let me know. That was supposed to simulate a really long cord. So it had like, I don't know, a resistor or something to give you
Yeah, it
like
had
a
like, yeah, one
degrade
tiny
the
little
thing.
capacitor in
But I think another cool effect pedal would be a box with 100 feet of cable in it and a coupler.
Yeah.
So you could turn a 10-foot cord into a 110-foot cord, and it'd be this great big heavy thing.
Yeah, Home Depot bucket with
Yes.
that much coiled, or not even
Yes.
coiled, because it can't be put in there neatly and
Oh, yeah, you
tidily.
just jam
It
that
has to
shit
just
in.
Be,
Yeah.
yeah, wadded in there.
Maybe that could be the tone boner. It could be a
Yeah.
coupler and the super long thing to.
Yeah, well, yeah, you
Ma-
have to, yeah, with gold, yeah, with rusty ends.
What do you guys think of the
Barely
tone
plug
boner,
in.
which would be a 100-foot cord, and it wouldn't be a simulator. It would be the real deal.
Yep.
Let me know what you guys think. I'd be happy to. I'm anxious to hear what you guys come up with. What's up? What Mrs. Toast
M.
has?
Alan Johnson is kind of geeking out on his concert shirt fabric top guitar.
Who? concert shirt.
Wasn't that the concert shirt guitar? How'd you get this fabric? He's like, it looks so awesome. I think it's like the third time he said something. I want to say it was like a T-shirt or something.
On his Ibanez that's
Is that it?
Yeah, that's Mark, and that's his Ibanez that he.
Oh, well, then I'm mixing up. So
Will you go grab that? I want
What
to
do you
talk
want
about
me to grab?
the Mark's Ibanez fabric thing. It's right down
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Because I want to show you something on that while I have you here. But my friend in New Mexico did a concert shirt, did an Iron Maiden concert shirt fabric top, and it turned out really cool.
It's all dusty.
Well, how'd that happen?
We made dust.
Yeah. So,
oh, yeah, that's the one.
So
Yeah.
this is one that Mark is talking about, M. Allen Johnson. This is fabric that he probably went to the fabric store and scared all the old ladies in the fabric store. I'm assuming he's like a total rock and roll dude. Mm-hmm. And little old ladies probably scare easy. I don't know if they
No,
do
they
or not.
don't.
I don't
They've
know if
seen
they
it
do.
all.
They've seen it all. They've done it all. So anyway, this is what he picked, and we actually had to see this. Yeah, we actually cut. I don't know if you can see this. See this right here where it says Carpe Nocturne.
You know what that means?
Does it-
Sees death.
Seize the fish. That's
Seize
what
the
it means.
fish.
Yeah.
So this was somewhere else, and we actually cut this out and put it here so it would have part of that motif of the Carpe Nocturne thing. Is it Seize the Night?
Noctum. I
Nocturne?
think it's sleep, but
I don't know. Anyway,
Sleep the fish?
Sleep the Fish. So anyway, it's Latin and it's cool. And so we actually cut, it would have been like down here or over here on the pattern, because this is a big, big pattern. So we're like, let's make it cool and cut that out and add it. So this is something that I didn't know if we could do, but we ended up doing it. And that is, you can cut fabric out. Let me see if you can probably even see under it a little bit. See how that skull goes under the thing and it looks like translucent? That's badass.
over here riding around your car.
Who?
Oh, is he?
Oh, there's a cop looking at Chris's Buick.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
So anyway, what else is going on? Is anybody else got anything?
Yeah, Nicholas Worrell wonders, every other sentence in here is him asking about his Mustang neck.
His Mustang neck with the stainless steel frets.
Uh-huh.
The frets have been ordered, and as soon as I get them, I'm going to press them in. I think he still owes some money on that. I will send you an email, Nick, and we can talk a little bit about that. Or you can send me an email, and we can talk about that too. But the frets are on the way. The fretboard has been radiused, and as soon as we press the frets in and get those done, then it's neck shaping time, and then it's ship it off and rock out time.
Cool.
Cool enough?
Yep.
Okay. What else?
There were some questions about the Les Paul, the Plywood Paul.
The Les
Don't know
Ply.
if the more ply.
There is a video coming out on the Les Ply. Oh, I can't see if I can get it to my. Okay. I'm getting.
Someone was asking about that earlier too.
So there will be a video this week about said Plywood Les Paul. Dude, my elbow is like dick. I'm getting old, you guys.
It's that golfer's elbow.
Tetris elbow.
Tron arm.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is. This is the back. And this everything has been sealed at least once, and it needs quite a bit more sanding. Chris and I came up with a rad idea for the headstock.
I thought I'd like the blue fretboard more than I do.
Yeah, but here we are. So it's only 7/8 blue. It's tape. So this is going to be super cool. So in the video coming up, we will sand the sealer, and we will fill in any gaps that need to be filled in. So Mrs. Toast really digs how you see how some of that like kind of pooty that's in there and is buried under the sealer looks. I think it looks cool too. And we will also set the neck, because the neck needs to be set in there. So
I think it looks like if the professor on Gilligan's Island built a guitar out of bamboo,
Or
it would look
coconut shells?
similar. He would make the pickup covers from coconuts. Yes.
okay, if the professor from Gilligan's Island was going to make a Les Paul out of bamboo, what chick would he be trying to impress? There's only three.
Yeah, I
There's only three, and there's only one right answer.
well, I know your answer.
Which is?
Mrs. Howell.
Lovey Howell. That's
Yeah.
right.
Although
You don't come down on the side of Lovey Howell?
having a bunch of money on a desert island doesn't really help you out. I mean, I know they gave up the whole "let's get rescued" thing pretty quick.
Yeah, they did.
To
Well,
my
and there are some
mind.
people that say that the professor was probably more into like Gilligan or the skipper.
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
he was a confirmed bachelor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they used to call that back then.
Yeah.
So Gosselin Creative says a bamboo guitar is a neat idea.
We have seen a handful of bamboo guitars or tops.
Yeah.
Well, that one, it was splinters.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
that's the number one thing that I remember about
It
that.
was like needles were everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
A friend of ours came in and was working on a bamboo project, and it was. You thought the plywood guitar splintered. The bamboo thing was crazy.
And they were sharp and they hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's questions about what pickups that's going to have.
That's going to have a set of our Pure Juice pickups. So the Plywood Les Paul will be getting Pure Juice pickups and Goto, or maybe Hipshot bridge and tailpiece, and definitely Hipshot tuners, CTS pots. I'm not going to put oil and wax capacitors in it, but
So
Come
there's
on.
I want it, and will you give it away?
I will not give it away. And no, you don't want it. This is really so. No one's gonna buy this guitar. You know what I mean? But I can't just be giving away guitars, especially like carved top. The thing about this is, I was talking with my friend
You're gonna
Brad
have
about
like
this.
40 hours in this thing by the time it's all said and
Oh,
done.
easily, yeah. It's
Yeah.
there's just as much work that goes into making a plywood Les Paul. Definitely more because you have to
Actually, more.
glue that dumb stuff together.
And it's, yeah.
And at the end of it, it's a plywood guitar. So I made this for me, and I made it really kind of to show off some of the kooky things that we can do here. It's not going to get a lot of playtime, no matter what it sounds like, because people are going to be like, you want how much money for that? Well, it's plywood. Yeah, because it's still the same amount of work, you know,
or more.
or more. So
So,
What do you work for now these days?
Tips?
Yeah, 17 cents an hour.
yeah, it's not very much. You
Yeah,
guys.
that's what they make in China.
Yeah, yeah. What's the next one, Mrs. Toast?
Well, now I lost it
Okay.
because you went yammering on.
You know how it is, you guys. I yammer on and on. What other topics are there that we can cover on? Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so dug deeper. This is right up your ass.
Okay, right up my ass.
Well, I was gonna say alley, but that wasn't nearly as fun.
Wow, Doug.
Would you be willing to do a that was me, by the way.
Oh, not
I
Doug
was
didn't say. It
introducing
was
the question.
all the way up my
Yeah.
ass.
Will you be willing to do a co-project with a YouTube gunsmith?
Depends on the gunsmith. If it's my homeboy Dave Clevenger, absolutely. If it's Bobby Tyler, absolutely.
Jim Fuller?
If it's Jim Fuller, absolutely. Now I don't know what Jim's up to these days. If it's Vince Buckles, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to do that.
What if it's Quick Draw McGraw?
I don't know that that's a real guy.
Ricochet Rabbit?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny because when I think of gunsmith, I don't think of Jim and Vince, which I should because those guys are totally gunsmiths. And they do amazing stuff. But anyway, Bobby Tyler was kind of in my brain, and my friend Dave lives right down the street from me. So yeah, who is it that he wants to do a project with? Is it does he want to do engraving or something? Because like I said, my friend Dave is a Safariland, or not Safariland, but a Safari Club master engraver, and yeah, he's the man.
Oh, someone's suggesting a raffle, which we did that one time on the Devil Net.
Well, but I think what they're suggesting is a pay-to-play raffle.
Yeah.
Which is what?
Yeah. Did we
that
pay
was- yes,
for
it was a
tickets?
bucket chance.
It was
Yep.
a bucket chance. Okay. Yeah. We
Yep.
could do something like that
For what?
for
No,
that.
then my plywood guitar would be gone.
Well,
and
I know,
wouldn't have my
but-
plywood guitar.
But what they're saying is that you could do something like that if you.
But then I
wanted
wouldn't have
to.
my plywood guitar, you
Yeah.
guys.
So really, what this is you
It's a
just don't
labor.
want to.
It's a Matt ego
Well,
project.
yeah, and someday maybe you'll be like, you know what?
Well, like, what if only one guy says, "Oh yeah, I want like one"? Okay, then I sell the
I
guitar
don't
for
think that will
$1.
happen.
I mean,
Well,
come on.
Then you just make up who wins it and keep it yourself.
That's tacky. I can't do that.
Sure you can.
I don't know.
Tacky,
The
yes.
other thing, you guys, is I don't know. Raffles online is a form
Yeah,
of gambling,
it
and it's
is.
really
It's
touch
so
and go with what
heavily-
you can
it's
do.
Heavily regulated.
It's totally
You have to
illegal,
have a
is what it
third
is.
pa- You have to have
Yeah.
a third party oversee the whole raffle, and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, the lawyers and that bullshit. It's gonna,
Okay, so
So
probably
any-
not, but
no.
maybe one day we'll
In
do
person,
something.
we did one time.
Yeah,
That's
and that was for
different.
fun.
It was like a church thing.
Well, and that was
you
just
know?
it was and it was small and local, and
Yeah.
And you were there.
we
you're
still
doing
lost
it.
money on the deal.
Yeah.
So
But anyway, somebody's asking about the finish on the guitar.
On the plywood guitar,
Yes, sir.
right now the plywood guitar. Hold on.
This is kind of a little bit of a debate.
Jesus.
we're now calling it the My Ply
Why?
because it's the matte My Ply guitar.
Oh, okay. So what is on here right now is nothing but.
Simtex sealer.
You guessed it.
Yeah.
Simtech Easy Sanding Sealer 2850. And what will be on here after we sand it down and do another round of sealer is the clear coat that we use for everything, which is the Tamco Clear. Euro Clear. Is that right, Chris? Euro Clear? Okay. So, yeah. So don't you guys think it looks cool just like as it is? With like somebody was giving me grief about how the carve was wrong and it didn't have a bell carve. This absolutely has a bell carve, and well, there's no accounting for lack of taste, right?
Yeah.
Especially
And
from
sometimes-
me. What do
yeah,
I?
It looks great.
Yeah, so the finish, we were having a little debate about that just yesterday.
Yeah, but Mrs. Toast and I agree that doesn't the side look cool?
It's tits and beer. It's
Doesn't the back look rad?
With each step that you get closer to being finished, the cooler it looks, and the more, I don't want to say uniform, but the more unified.
more intentional.
Yeah, yeah, and it really looks, it's really pretty darn neat.
I still like
It
the
looks
little,
even neater up close, and now that it's like almost totally smooth on the top, and you can't see all the topography
Yeah.
of the plywood, it looks yeah, really pretty cool.
I still like the idea of a little teeny burst to match the trans color that's going on the headstock.
We've decided again that we have a brand new super cool idea that we're going to show you guys what we're going to do. But this is going to be the color it's going to be. And it's going to be badass.
And the real deal is, if we put a teeny burst on it, if we do anything other than just clear coat, all of a sudden it's going to show off all of my totally boss painting skills, and your 40 hours on this project are just going to
Right
look
out the
like,
window.
Yep, done. No,
Yeah.
that's not true.
We have a show coming up. So a couple of people have asked me, are we going to NAMM this winter? And sadly, no, we will not be going to NAMM. And I'm bummed out because we won't get to hang out with some of our friends who are going to be there. And that's a bummer. But what we are going to do is there's a guitar show in Denver in April, and we will be exhibiting and going to that one. And this guitar will be available for perusal,
For
For finger banging.
touching.
for touching.
Yeah, and hefting.
For
and going,
rubbing and
Oh,
touching.
you know what? It's about as heavy as a Les Paul.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'll do a full reveal on this guitar too, you guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry. There's gonna be a full
Those are our new
reveal.
favorite videos.
Reveal.
Yeah, I really
Reveal.
into the reveals.
Reveal.
Yeah.
You should change the theme song for that to be more like of an old-fashioned stripper dance or something,
Well, Brett actually has written a reveal song, which I think is very good. Yeah.
Maybe we could get other people to write reveal songs too, and then we could use several different ones.
Yeah. If you guys like the reveal videos and you want to write a reveal song and you don't want to get paid for it,
Yeah, and it might
Let
not
me
even
know.
get played.
It
'cause
might even
I
get
don't know
played.
how we're gonna do that on
I
live
don't know
video.
how
mean,
we're
we
gonna
could probably
do it
figure
either.
out something, but
What else? Yeah.
Well, the bumpers on the live videos don't the regular Texas Toast.
I'm not sure how
They
that
don't.
On the
works.
replays?
No,
No.
they don't.
Really?
No.
yeah.
So what else is going on in the comment section? Are we missing comment? Guys, it's Christmas time, and we want to take comments, and we want to hang out with you guys because it's very cool to sit back and kind of reflect on what we've done this year, and thank you guys too for all the support that you've shown us and watching these videos and enjoying them and at your own pace or tomorrow when you're supposed to be working and you're goofing around because it's the 23rd.
It's the 23rd, and
Nothing going on at the office because everybody's taking off and you're like sitting there because because you're smart and you don't want to take that day off because you know nothing's going on that day. So it's a great day to go in and basically dick around.
Is this one of those weeks where almost everything completely shuts down because Monday is Christmas Eve, which
Christmas
is
Eve.
almost
Yep.
Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and then Christmas Eve.
People will be at work tomorrow, not very, but there'll be fewer, and there'll be even fewer people there on the day, Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And then obviously no, and I'm speaking of my experience in an office setting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the day, Boxing Day, no one will be there.
No.
And then since the next day is Friday, it's like, oh come on,
Might
my
as well
kids
take
are
that
off.
one
I'm
off.
taking that day off.
Yeah.
So this is a great Christmas. Christmas on Wednesday is awesome from a big office standpoint.
And then you can pull all that same shit the following week. Because of New Year's.
is
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it's almost like 2 full weeks off. I was talking to somebody in England, and yeah, they were like, Friday's our last day until January 6th.
Wow, really?
Like, yeah, and it's a legit place. I was like, okay, cool.
Probably gonna suck for me at work though.
Mm-hmm.
People are off of work, yes, and
Getting
they want
hurt.
to use up their cafeteria plans. For
Oh
the end of the year.
yeah, their
flexible
cafeteria
spending
plans.
accounts.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you at the NOAA building in Boulder, exactly what it's going to be like. Jack shit. Nothing's going to be happening.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to way better traffic. That's all. I'm just going to drive around.
I'm just going to cruise around.
That's why they call me the cruiser.
That is. I thought it was because of the Buick.
No.
That's a cool ride. Dude. Hey, what's going on with? Well, are you working this week?
I'm going to work tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to work Tuesday?
No, man.
How come?
It's Christmas Eve.
Well, aren't you going to do anything? What if something really badass is happening?
Oh, maybe. I mean,
So, okay.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe we.
When am I gonna go see the new
I'll.
Star Wars.
Oh yeah, that's right. You like the Star Wars.
Really?
Maybe has
Hey,
anyone else
I've-
seen the new Star Wars?
I've eaten a lot of bad Star Wars. I deserve this free Star Wars sandwich.
This free sub.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. This is yeah. Watch 8, get the last one free is how I feel.
Yeah, but you're gonna pay.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna pay, but at least I can put it to bed. Then this is it. I don't have to eat that sandwich anymore. So
I just scraped the crap out of my table with that guitar. So what? Is there anybody else has any questions about anything?
No, but Mr. Huge 3, I
Yeah.
hope I pronounced that correctly,
Mr. Huge 3.
said, don't go see Star Wars unless you want to laugh at how bad it is.
yeah, Brett saw it, and I was glad that he didn't tell me anything about it today. And
Gary Trail said,
forgot
seen
to
it
ask.
Friday night, awesome exclamation
Yeah.
point.
There you
Okay.
go, everyone.
Yeah.
The jury's
No,
still out on the
there's
Star
both
Wars.
ends of
Yeah.
the pendulum.
Well,
right?
it's not going to have to be very good for me to be like, okay, that was pretty good, because I hated the last one so much. I've run the gauntlet on that or the gamut of feelings towards Star Wars. Like,
Yeah.
I was the biggest Star Wars nerd when I was a kid,
You still are.
and no, I'm not in comparison to some other people. And then that whole second series, and yeah, but I was like all in when I was 7 to 10.
I think I saw it 3 times before I knew what the hell was going on. I remember seeing it at the drive-through. What was that like?
At the drive-through?
Yeah, the drive-through on the back of a Subaru Brat with
Sweet.
the space chairs in
Yeah,
the
the
back.
drive-in,
Yeah, drive-through is the Burger King.
Oh, I said
The
drive-through.
BK Steakhouse.
No wonder you couldn't figure out what was going
What
on.
the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Where's my fries?
The burger chips. Yeah. It was terrible.
All right, you guys, let's
Yeah.
go ahead and wrap this one up. I think we've done quite
That's
enough
getting
damage.
punchy.
I'm getting punchy. I'm getting hungry.
Hungry.
And I'm also getting tired because I like go to bed at like 7:30 these
We've
days.
foregoed lunch.
We've foregone it.
Yes, for dinner.
So, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody who asked a question, and thank you, extra thanks to everyone who donated to the cause. We really appreciate that. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button now. Look, this one just came in for like $4.
$4.99.
Who put in $4.99?
Billy B and Blues.
Billy B, and thank you so much, my friend. Guys, if you like content like this, you might want to go over to our Patreon page and consider becoming a member. Even $1 a month goes a long way to helping us bring you guys cool stuff. Well, stuff like this and cool other stuff that we.
This stuff and cool stuff
this,
too.
this stuff and some other cool stuff. Look, Joe contributed some more money to my beer fund.
Margaritas.
Joe is one of the nicest guys.
He really is.
So let's see. What is coming up next week? I've got a video on the Plywood Les Paul. I've got an EBO fretting video coming up this week for everybody who's like, hey, what's going on with EBOs? We have a new reveal video on Friday.
Is it another double neck?
No, it's not, but it is a reveal.
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 So there's lots of good stuff coming up, you guys. And of course, next Sunday we will be doing this again with a, I don't know, different
We're going to talk
topic.
about all the good stuff and all the bad stuff that happened in 2019 and maybe even in the last decade.
I would like
And
to
what
dis-
we're looking forward to
I doubt it,
I
but
would
yeah.
like to
in
discuss
the new
goals
millennium.
for 2020.
Goals for 2020.
Yeah, we're focusing.
Focusing in 2020.
Perfect. Goals for 2020. And of course, we'll take your questions. So guys, thanks for watching. If I was about to go into my spiel again. So thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next week.
If you like videos like this, don't
I
forget to check the.
already did that.
Okay.
Where were you? Where were you, my love?
Not paying attention.
Yeah, as usual. So guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. This is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that if you're so smart, build it yourself. That's what I do. Thanks for watching, everybody.